Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my line mate Matt with me. And today we're going to go over Blackhawks news. We're going to go over we finally have some news. Thank goodness that the season's finally over. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. And we're going to go over the Blackhawks. We're going to go over the July 1st signings, and we're going to talk some hockey. So, Matt, you know, one of the big things that happened was obviously the Panthers won. I was saying for a long time that Edmonton was going to lose. They took me to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals before that they did. And, you know, I'm going to tip my hat off to them, man, because they really showed up this year. But what a heartbreaker to kind of lose that way. What do you think about Edmonton's season, especially the way that it started?
Yeah, man, they were resilient. They won 17 games in a row after they got their coach fired. I think it was a couple after, but still, they were, you know, they were at one point close with the Hawks in points. So that team came back, and I mean, they came back from 3-0. That's insane. I mean, not a lot of teams, you know, they couldn't complete the comeback, but they were resilient to the end, and I think they're a very, very good team. I know that McDavid didn't, you know, get a point in the final, the big game, the numbers Game 7, Draisaitl the same, but you got to tip your hat to Florida, man. They shut him down. Yeah, and they just they wanted it more that game, and I think the Oilers ran out of gas, but 100%. I think they're a team to be reckoned with for sure next year. It's Skinner, you know, I've heard all season, this guy's not the guy. This guy's not the guy. He's not good enough. But, dude, he played great. He played just as good as Bob in that series, and just came down to a 2-1 game, I believe. And very, very entertaining Stanley Cup final. I think very memorable one for sure.
You know, what came down to the end, and this is what I've been saying all along, is that they cannot do it without Draisaitl and McDavid. So what did they do? They practically played them the whole third period, and what happened at the very end? They couldn't even get into the zone, man. You know, like they were just so possession. They were so winded. You know, and it goes to having a lack of trust in the rest of your squad to at least give these guys a break so that they can make that final push at the end of the game, you know? They definitely retooled now, looking at the signings that they made, you know, obviously doing what they needed to do, but and I think that they're doing it because they're trying to re-sign Draisaitl. And because he's probably like, you know, enough is enough. We need some help here. We need some secondary scoring, and we need some defense. And to tip the hat to them, they played great. The Panthers, you know, they finally did it, man. They finally made it over that hump of being the second team in Florida, that second hockey team. They finally won their championship, and man, it's going to be a long summer for them.
Yeah, they've been partying, you know, not too many people there it looked like, but hey, they're having fun. I see the Kachuk family really enjoying it. I know Keith is a proud dad, and Brady's probably got to be like, oh man, this feels awesome. I got to do this myself. So I got to get out of Ottawa as soon as possible.
Oh my gosh. So the Blackhawks, man, you know, to start off the Blackhawks news, Jeremy Roenick is going to make it into the Hall of Fame. You know, congratulations to JR. It was a long time coming. It's something we've talked about very extensively on our podcast. Jeremy Roenick, wholehearted, deservedly, should have been in the Hall of Fame. And I'm glad that he finally makes it, man. But, you know, one big omission is Alexander Mogilny. I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked that Datsuk is going to make it into the Hall before Mogilny does.
Yeah, you'd think, like, is there like an anti-Russian thing going on, and all these other ones are going in, you know? Yeah. And wow, man, it is a big time head scratcher. I don't get that. And we've always said Roenick not being in. Why? His numbers are better than Correa. His numbers are better than Lindros. And these guys are going in before him. It's just not. It's not right. But I'm glad they did. They did Roenick good finally. And I listened to his call that he got from, I believe it was Lanny McDonald. He's the main guy at the Hall of Fame now, and JR just couldn't believe it. I was so happy for him. He was really emotional, and he thought it was a joke at first because it's it's years going on, and he's like, yeah, they forgot about me, and he's got to go in as a Blackhawk for sure.
Yes, I hope so. I really hope he does. Maybe because Datsuk's a 6th or 7th round draft pick, and the career that he had, maybe that's being weighed somehow, some way. I don't know.
Very skillful guy. I don't know. I think he won a Selkie a couple times. Yeah, that's cool.
He was the guy for a while.
Yeah, very flashy, exciting player. I guess that's what the character. I just, I think he, like even Shea Weber, very great defenseman, very good, hard shot. Just don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
and some of the not like I'm anti Nashville or anything. I know there's some good players that come out of there. He played with the Canadians too, but he's another guy. I was wow. Moginley and these two guys before him. Huh, interesting.
Yeah,
and it's like I said, it's how I felt with Paul Correa and even Roberto Luongo made it. He was a very good goalie, but it's like, oh my goodness, come on, man. These guys are like they just retired. It seemed like
Yeah.
And we're I know the big thing with the Hawks is Steve Larmer, who was like an Iron Man. He's another guy that
he should be in the Hall of Fame.
It's just. All these years keep going by, and I feel bad for these guys. A lot of these guys, like some of them die, and they like what was the big one? Ron Santo. The poor guy couldn't get in, and then he passes away, and he finally gets in. It's like, oh, he couldn't even enjoy it. Come on. So,
I'm actually pretty. I don't want to say upset, but it's like shocking that Paul Correa can make it in before Steve Larmer. Paul Correa, he never won a cup.
Either did Lindros. Almost certain. I think he made it to the final. I think Detroit just beat up on him.
Yeah.
Just very weird. You know what? Peter Forsberg was a really, really good player. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but I guess they go by the games played and the points. His points were the ratio was great.
Yeah.
With the points and the games played and stuff. But you look in the end, like look at Roenick's numbers. They're better.
Yeah.
He's a 500 goal scorer. That should be an automatic in.
Yeah.
And it took that long, which is insane.
It should.
Yeah.
Really interesting, man. Yeah. Larmer, man. Gosh. And Mogilny, they should both be in. What about goalies? Are there any goalies that are not in that you think should be in? Is Cujo in?
Great question. I believe all those 90s goalies are in. Like Grant Fuhr was one of them. He Belfour, I think, was 2011. And it seemed like he retired, and a couple years later he was in. That's how great he was. Brodeur, Waugh. I don't think
Belfour's one of the best. He's one of the best goalies of all time.
He's a top 10 goalie in wins, absolutely. I think Fleury will get in as soon as he retires. It'll be pretty quick. What do they call it? Like the first ballot guy?
Yeah.
Henrik Lundqvist. I'm not sure if he
has it been enough time yet. Oh wait, I think he is.
He might be. Henrik Lundqvist might be going. I think Mike Richter should be a Hall of Famer. There's just some great goalies in that decade, man. They just, you don't see that too much. You only got like 3 or 4 elite guys, but I feel like every team had the elite goalie. It's like your team could win. No matter what.
Lundqvist made it in 2023.
Yeah, well deserved. Absolutely, good goalie. You know what? You think Nikolai Hobby-Bolin is a Hall of Famer?
No.
I know he won a cup with Tampa in 2004.
He was popular.
Very, very good. Very good.
No, I don't know.
We got to look at you got to break it down with the numbers. We'll have to do that one day.
Yeah.
But there's Dominic Hasek. You know what? I will say I think Chris Osgood was a good goalie. Very borderline of Hall of Famer though. I don't think he's in. But
oh man, he won 3 cups.
I know. But
what, man? Here, I'm going to make a case for him. He came in right after He was Vernon's backup. And you know what, man? He did his part afterwards, man. And I think that he earned it. How many cups does he have? 2?
I think 3. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
Wow.
And he has 401 wins.
Wow.
I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I really don't. That's crazy. And I've always hated him. He's the Hawks rival. He used to kill the Hawks all the time.
Yeah, he did, man.
But he's got 401 wins and 250 losses, I think it was. And he won the William Jennings Trophy, Stanley Cup 3 times. Yeah, he's pretty solid career. I think he spent some time in St. Louis and New York in between the Red Wings. But yeah, man, he 44 wins was 65 wins he had with the Blues. Or no, I'm sorry, this is game started. He's a 30 win guy, average. You know what, man? I think he should get looked at for sure. He was a 3rd round pick.
Yeah. So
or
here's
3rd rounder, yeah.
Here's an interesting conversation I had on Facebook was that someone was like, they were saying that, Pavel Datsyuk made it in. Is there a Russian forward on Detroit that was better? And I said that Fedorov is that Datsyuk doesn't even belong in the conversation with Fedorov.
Oh, because it was amazing.
Fedorov was better in every way. He was better. He was better at scoring. He was a better playmaker. He was better defensively. He was faster.
How many players do you know that played center for a decade and then switched to defense and very good at it?
Yeah.
That's incredible to me.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that he was able to play D in the NHL as a defenseman.
Incredible.
Anyways,
yes. Datsyuk, he had some good numbers, man. I mean, 953 games played, 918 points. That's pretty damn good. He was a plus 249. So he never finished. Oh, he finished one time minus. He was a -2 in 04. And that was the worst.
Okay.
But definitely. I think there's other players that should get looked at before him for sure. Yeah.
So let's move on to the Blackhawks, man. We got some signings going on. A lot of people were expecting the Blackhawks to give Kaner a shot, and you know what? Faulkner and Wirtz weren't going to have it, and Davidson said, that they're continuing to move on in their own way. A lot of people, I think it's a missed opportunity, and a lot of people are disappointed by it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was disappointed when they kind of ruled it before free agency. They ruled it out saying, yeah, we're not going to go that route. And I just think it's bad business, bad hockey business, bad money business, financial. When you sign other guys like the guys we did, some older guys, and you look at the season Kane had last year and the history he has here, it's like, well, you're telling me this guy's going to be better in the locker room than Kane?
Right.
And he's going to be more productive than Kane and at the same price as Kane. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but clearly they don't want anything to do with the past, and that's how it was in the 90s. They buried guys, and I credit John McDonough on that. He brought guys back. And, he brought in Bobby Hall back, Espo. The guys were at the games all the time, and sometimes you need those guys to be back to, you take care of your history. And guys, they want to, a lot of kids. I've never seen Tony Esposito play. I'd never seen any of those guys play, but I seen them at the rink all the time, and they were signing autographs. And you took care of your guys that were there before you, and it seems like they're kind of pushing them to the side now, and especially when they're on the back nine of their careers, it's good to keep them here. Like bringing Taves back as like an ambassador type of thing, and it was good to see him. He was with Chelios, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
like a youth hockey camp. But if he's in the rink, I mean, people are going to be drawn to him. Like he's like royalty here, and it's just something that I think that I don't like the route they're going with this. They're trying to get forget about it. Like, let's move on from it. And that's what old man Wirtz did. And we went a decade without. Some kids didn't even know who Jeremy Roenick was. These new kids, and he was a star in the '90s. Him and Tony Amani, Belfort, Charlie, like these guys, they could. These new kids have no clue. They don't have any idea, and that's what I think they're kind of going down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just having Kane back, man, would put people in the seat. It's not like we need extra people, but he would be a great mentor to Patrick Kane. But oh well, we still have we've still got Foligno, who thank goodness got on the phone and talked to Tyler Bertuzzi and got him into Chicago. A lot of people are on the fence about Bertuzzi, but I love him, man. How are you?
Not sure why. You know me, man. I've been talking about him for 2 years now. He's the perfect hockey player for any team. The dude does. I hate to say it, hate to be use profanity now, but it's whatever the fuck it takes to win. That's Tyler Bertuzzi. Mm-hmm. He will. There's a video of him in net. I think 2 years ago when he was still with the Red Wings. It was 2 years ago. They pulled a goalie. It was 6-4. He's in the net blocking shots. It's 6-4. They pulled a goalie and he's blocking shots with his body, throwing his body around. And it's like, okay, it's not 5-4, it's 6-4. We're down 2. And this guy, that's how he plays. And that is the way you're supposed to play. Tough, lunchbox guy, blue collar dude, going to work. That's who you want on your team. And, he could do it all. He could score. He puts up good numbers. He'll fight you. He'll pass. He'll come up with a clutch goal. You touch a star player, he's going to be all over you. He's a 90s hockey player playing now. And I love it. I love the signing. Fair deal, 4 years, $5 million. That's not going to hurt at all. A+ signing for me. I did not expect that coming either.
Yeah. What about Pat Maroon, man? Big rig.
So I like Pat Maroon. I really liked him when he was with Tampa. I thought he was really effective with Corey Perry down there. Those guys were. Fortunately, they didn't get that cup with Corey Perry. That poor guy keeps losing, but that's another day. But big rig, man. St. Louis, he won the cup. He goes to Tampa, wins 2 more. He's a very good locker room guy. He'll defend you. He's got some hands too for a big dude.
Yeah, that's why he's there.
I think he's gonna be there to watch over the youngsters, and I think it's pretty cool that they reached out to him and he wanted to be here. That says a lot. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see someone trying to take a run at Connor when you got Bertuzzi and the big rig on the ice or on the bench ready to roll. That's something we didn't have last year. Yeah, exactly. Papa Foligno can kind of sit back now and let some other guys take care of it.
Yeah, maybe we should see if we can get Marcus too. Have the Foligno brothers in there.
Oh, dude, that guy's a madman.
He is.
Yeah,
he's got a great set of hair too.
I think Minnesota will not get rid of that guy, but if they do, I'd be all over it. Another guy I've been hearing about in the trade rumors is Aaron Ekblad, who just won the Stanley Cup with the Panthers. Yeah. Really good defenseman. I think they had to create space for the Sam Reinhart deal. He signed 8 for 8, I want to say.
Reinhart?
Maybe, Sam Reinhart. He scored 50-ish last year. I think 52 or 50 maybe. But, they gave him the big deal, and I think Aaron Ekblad's going to be the odd man out. I think he's 28 years old. I would be all over this guy right now. He's a very, very good stay-at-home defenseman.
Okay. Who else did we sign, man?
We signed your boy Teuvo Teravainen for 3 years at $5.4 million. So KD took a book out of the Bowman page here, bringing an old guy back, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not. It's a signing okay. I like it. We kind of brought in a guy that puts in 20, maybe gets 60, 50 points. He plays center. I think he would play well with Bedard. I could see those guys having some chemistry the way they both play. Maybe I'd like to see maybe Bertuzzi on that other wing, just to kind of make sure guys aren't going to take liberties on Connor. and he could score. He'll go to work and get some pucks up to these guys and let them do their thing. But it's not like it's gonna hurt you. It's a $5 million hit. It's not like it's a $8 million hit. I don't think he's worth that, but it's not gonna hurt the team at all.
So let's talk about the first line. Who do you think should be on that first line with Bedard?
Well, watching Bertuzzi this year with the Leafs, he can absolutely play with skilled guys. He can play with Matthews. He can play with Marner. I think him and Domi were besties. They were doing their thing some nights, and I think you got to keep a guy like Domi up there. I think he'll probably could give you 30 goals. I think. I really like the chemistry that Kurashev and Bedard had last season. I think they might go back to that, but I think they're going to go top heavy. I could see him even putting Taylor Hall with Bedard and putting Bedard on the center again. Give that a shot. I don't think he's a center yet, but I could see like Taylor Hall, Bertuzzi, and maybe Bedard in the middle.
Okay.
But I would like to see Teuvo maybe get a shot at put Bedard on the wing and put Teuvo at center, because who knows how long Taylor Hall is going to even be playing.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. We've signed a few guys, but where does Lukas Reichel fit in? Yeah,
it's a great question. I think Lukas has to play top six. If you want him to be Lukas Reichel, you want him to be. If he's on the bottom six, being a checker, playing against the team's best first lines, he's not your guy.
Yeah.
Fourth line, don't even waste his time. Send him to Rockford. They've already been saying he's got to have to work his balls off to get a spot. So,
oh my gosh,
with all these signings, it's you look like Kurashev. Yeah, he's a top six. After last season, he's absolutely a top six on the team.
He has to play with Bedard to be top six, though.
Yes. But Lukas can have a great start, and he can give Davidson no choice. Like, I got to keep him up here. He's playing too well. And, who like we said before, who knows how long Taylor Hall is going to play?
Yeah.
He's got some major, major injury problems, dude.
Yeah.
He's one injury away from probably retirement. I hope he's not, because when he plays, he's MVP-like. I mean, he won an MVP when he played the full season. Right. He's a good player. So you figure Bertuzzi, Teuvo are top six guys. Obviously, Connor's a top six guy, Kurashev. And then, that last spot, man, it's, I guess you got to consider Taylor Hall because he's healthy now, for now.
Yeah.
So that last spot's up for grabs. Is Foligno going to be that top six guy? Is Reichel going to be that guy? So the kid's going to have to work his balls off just to get a spot for sure this season.
Yeah. I've just been curious kind of where he fits in, because, Davidson, he signed a lot of people, man.
Yeah, very surprising. Very surprising. And it kind of, I think like a week before, he said, don't expect the Hawks to do much.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what happened? Did they give you a blank check or something? Because he spent a lot of money. I think he spent over $10 million with just Bertuzzi and Teuvo.
Yeah.
And I think Big Rig got $1 million, and Craig Smith, another vet, Joey Anderson, $800,000, and this is the signing I like. Laurent Brossoit, the backup from Winnipeg. This kid, I think, could really surprise people, and he can end up stealing that net and being a good goalie, which is something that the Hawks had very bad luck with lately with goaltending. This guy could be the guy. I know Jets fans on Twitter were saying this guy's a really good backup goalie. He's been playing behind Hellebuck for a couple years and really learning a lot. And they were sad to see him go. So that makes me happy, and I hope this kid is going to be a good goalie.
Man,
2 years at $3 million. That's nothing.
I'm wondering where, it's like maybe like Frank Nazar, like what kind of opportunity is he going to get? Because
I don't think he's going to get one, dude. I think he's going right to Rockford.
I think he's a top six guy. And I think that he needs to play in the top six, but depending on what kind of camp he has, I think he's going to go to Rockford too.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I can even see Korchinski going back to Rockford.
You know what? I was going to ask you about that. I don't want to get to the D yet. With Nazar, do you think that he would be better off going to Rockford or playing in Michigan?
I think Rockford. I think that this kid's ready to be a pro for sure. And you're gonna start getting paid. And you're gonna develop. You're gonna be playing against better players. If you're most athletes, they want to play at the highest level they can. And I think he'll have I think Rockford could be a really good team this year, dude. Really good team. If you look at the draft picks that we've got, I think they're all kind of. Especially the D over the years, they're starting to blossom. Oh, yeah. They're like almost ready to rock, and now we added Nazar. We got the kid we just picked first in the draft. I'm blanking on the name.
Leveshinov. I'm not sure if
he's
I'm saying
a Michigan
right.
guy too. Michigan guy, and they're saying he's going to go right to Rockford too. So this could be a really good Rockford team, and maybe 2 years. They can compete for the Calder Cup probably. That's how good they are.
Dude, but what about like these guys that we've got down there that need to be moved up?
Yeah, it's the thing. We got guys like Connor Murphy and Seth Jones kind of taking spots away. I'm not clearly. I think I don't know why we're hanging on to Connor Murphy. I keep hearing how great of a locker room guy he is, and again. You're in the NHL, you better be good in the locker room type. I mean, you don't have to pay a guy $4 million for that. Get a kid like Nolan Allen rocking and rolling. Get him up here. Del Mastro. Even give it to Korch. Give Korchinski another year. Who cares? Who cares what he does? He played great last season.
He did.
Put him in again. He's gonna just get that experience, get those games played, the reps. That's what young defensemen need.
I don't think Korchinski going down to Rockford helps him at all. I think that it's
going to be like a Nick Leddy thing. I agree with you. Yes.
He made the step. I think he made the step to the NHL last year. I think he learned as the year went on, and I think that he's ready for the NHL, man. Sending him back down, I think sends the wrong message to him. And I'd be like, what the fuck is this? I played on the team all year last year, and now you're telling me that I can't play up here,
I keep hearing that they want to send him down, though. It's crazy.
Yeah. And who's going to play in a spot? Alec Martinez? Look, I get it that he's a good player, which he is, but isn't Alec Martinez like 35 years old?
That's who you want Korchinski being around. Okay.
I get it. Yeah, you want him around him, but that's not the type of player Korchinski is.
No, but that's a guy you want him like around, and not obviously if you send him to Rockford, he won't be around that guy.
Right.
You want him to learn from these guys, and if it came down to him taking Korchinski's spot, that's just not right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Not right at all.
With Connor Murphy skating around.
We're stuck with Seth Jones, and it's fine. I think Seth is fine. The money, the salary's not hurting us yet.
I'm not even mentioning Seth. But
Seth is fine. Yeah, that's one spot there. You're gonna laugh at me. I kind of was hoping that Davidson was gonna go after Zadorov again.
Oh my gosh,
dude! I think that guy is a hitting machine.
He is, yeah.
He's a goon
it's
back
at the
there.
Cost of the. It's at the cost
and
of the team.
And he plays good. He plays D. I love that. Boston was all over him.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know if you saw his interview. He's like, "Well, I guess you guys can't call me Big Z anymore because of the whole Chara thing." But I would have loved him on this team. Just a mean and nasty dude, but it's just not the right time. We're talking about, this guy would have taken a spot with one of these young guys. But I think Korch needs to stay. He should
absolutely
stay.
Absolutely, he needs to stay. And what about Wyatt Kaiser? What about Isaac Phillips?
Yeah.
What about these guys who are ready to? They're ready to play, man. And maybe Wyatt Kaiser we'll need to see in camp, because he had a great camp and then he kind of died off after about 15 games or so. But what about these dudes who are ready to get an opportunity to come up and play? Do they need is Davidson think like these dudes need one more year and another year in Rockford?
I think Davidson's going to spend more time in Rockford this season. Honestly, he's going to probably stay down there and watch more games than the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
because that's more exciting to me. Where all these draft picks are starting to, they want to turn pro and they're going to the AHL and they're gonna get some games in, and they're going to be playing. They're playing against really good prospects like them.
Yeah,
and Frank Nazar could be a stud down there, man. He could be a 40, 30 goal guy. That would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be nice for him to have that.
Oh yeah, there's going to be guys getting called up. They're either going to go through the Reichel treatment of he's going to come up for 5-6 games, and they're going to send him down, and they're see what they got against certain teams, and they're going to do all kinds of trials like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's maybe there's just some players that I've taken a liking to, like Phillips and
yeah,
I think Reichel needs another opportunity. So I think people think that he's been in the system, that he's been playing for 5 years and he hasn't.
It seems that way. Yeah, it's crazy. And like you argue with people online, and they're like, "Oh, he's been 3 years now." What? 3 years? This is his first full season.
Yeah,
and it's like they're mad that he's not a 50 goal scorer like Jeremy Roenick.
I know.
Like what?
They said there's some people were telling me they're like, if he doesn't pan out this year, he's a bust. He's done.
He's a bust. Yeah. We're real quick to throw the bust,
Yeah, man. It's brutal. All right. Well, moving on. Are there any? Is there anybody that kind of stands out for you that you can't wait to see him play?
Bertuzzi. I'm excited to see him play. I think a lot of people are going to be falling in love with the guy. Just I've been watching him closely over the years. I'm a fan. I think he's going to turn into a fan favorite pretty quick here.
Okay. Yeah, I think he will too. I wonder what jersey number he's going to wear.
Probably 59, some weird number, because he's a weird dude. Did you see his interview?
He is, dude.
He's been like camo decked out. He's got his long hair coming back, and he's got that missing tooth, and he's a beauty, dude.
I got to pull that up. Tyler Bertuzzi.
He looks like, I think I wrote line, it looks like he just caught his lunch in the woods and he's sitting down at home. He's just dude, he's awesome.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy.
Oh, I know he's see him here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he cut his hair when he was in?
He did. He cut it halfway in Toronto last year. I think he's superstitious. He said he wasn't doing well and he cut the hair and tried to turn some stuff around. But I think his hair was awesome, man.
I think he did though, didn't he?
He did cut it. Yeah, he had like a little crew cut.
No, I mean, I think he turned it around though.
He did. Yeah, I think he had a good season. 25 goals. Austin Matthews is the only guy that scores in Toronto.
Yeah.
So you can get a rebound in the rare occasion he misses or the goalie stops it. Maybe Bertuzzi potted some rebounds in, but yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm happy for Teuvo. Clearly, he loved the Blackhawks. He won the cup here in 2015. He wanted to be back. That says a lot, man. When you land free agents, it's good for the future free agents that, like, oh yeah, Chicago, it's a good place to play, and it'll help in the long run, I think.
Yeah. Tuesday said Chicago wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah. Nick Foligno, I guess, made some calls and picked up from there, he said, and I mean, anytime you got the future face of the NHL on the team, I'm sure it has a lot to do with that too. Connor Bedard playing with him, and it's going to be cool.
Yeah. Wow. Any other NHL wide like free agency that kind of sticks out to you?
Yeah, man, the Stamkos drama. It was
my
crazy,
gosh.
Very crazy. I did not see that coming, and you feel for him because he was the man there forever. 2 Stanley Cups and the captain, very long time. And there's rumors that the Lightning gave him an 8-year deal on the table for $3 million a year. That was the rumor. I'm not going to say that's what it was, but Stammer thought he was worth more. And he scored 40 last year. Maybe he is. Maybe at shorter term, but the GM he moved Sergachev too to Utah. So they had to clear some space, and I think they signed Jake Gensel.
They did.
They traded for Jake Gensel's rights, and they signed him to an 8-year deal or a 7-year extension, whatever. So they wanted to go with Gensel over Stamkos, which is, as a business standpoint, I guess, you got to think about the future. But Stamkos wanted $8 million a year. It sounded like. Well, that's
Crazy.
What he got in Nashville.
Yeah.
$8 million a year, for 4 years, $32 million. Good for him. They offered it to him. He took it. Good for him. He's getting $32 million in 4 years. Clearly his heart is still in Tampa because they had an interview. He said he was really disappointed. They were not even close with term and money, and he was upset last year. He didn't have it done by the training camp, and so it's like an ugly divorce, and in 4 years he's going to sign a 1-year deal or a 1-day deal to be a Lightning. He'll probably retire right off into the sunset, but it's going to be tough for a lot of younger fans, that's for sure. It's like with Kane leaving, it's like almost the same thing here. The franchise guy left and he's playing somewhere else. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this dude's wearing a Nashville jersey of all. Like, come on, why are you going there, dude? Please.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to see.
I would have went to Florida. I would have went to Florida if I were him. Just to give him like, okay, you want to dick with me? I'm going to go to the rival right now. That would be hilarious. Actually.
They probably didn't want him.
That's must-see TV right there.
That's like Chelios going to Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Hawks also signed TJ Brody and Alec Martinez.
Craig
I'm wondering
Smith,
where TJ Brody's going to fit in, to be honest with you. Maybe just for depth.
I don't know, man. That was a head scratcher. That one, Martinez was another one, but he's a winner. 3 Stanley Cups, 2 with the Kings, 1 with Vegas. He killed the Hawks a couple seasons ago. The guy still can't get over that whole play or whatever. I think it went off like a shoulder pad. What was that, Nick Leddy, or was it Van Riemsdyk, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
But man, we'll have to see. Hopefully these young guys outwork them and just make them healthy scratches. That's what you could hope for.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping Domi would come back.
Yeah, him and Bertuzzi, man, they have like BFFs over there too, and the Leafs ended up keeping Domi, and I know why. I mean, the playoff games I watched, Domi was a factor, man. He was protecting his teammates. He was scoring some goals, and I think he signed a very similar deal to Bertuzzi too. It was like $5 million, 4 years or 3 years or whatever.
Oh wow!
So it's good to see those guys getting taken care of, the depth guys and guys that show up in the playoffs and defend their teammates and stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't have them both.
Would be pretty cool actually. Domi was a good Blackhawk and fan favorite here too for his 1 season.
Yeah.
Very very class act guy.
Looks like some rumors out there was that Ryan O'Reilly pushed for the Predators to trade for Mitch Marner.
Interesting.
Nothing on Marner yet.
Barry Trotz is taking over, man, and it seems like the owner back in Nashville not known to spend the money. This year they're spending money. They even signed Jonathan Marchessault from Vegas.
Yeah,
very good player. Very good player. And Stamkos is a good player, too. Ryan O'Reilly's already there. You got a very good goalie who just signed an extension. Saros signed, I think, a max deal, right? Was it an 8-year extension? So that makes you wonder what they got a really good backup goalie. I'm not crazy with Nashville and the names and stuff, or their prospects. I don't really care, but I wonder what they're going to do with that goalie. I don't see him hanging on to the guy if they're got Saros for 8 years, but still a very good goalie. Roman Josi, very good defenseman. Nashville's tough to beat, man. I think they're sick of making the playoffs and being really close and just getting bounced out. They're trying to make that next step, and I credit them, man, because it's taken a long time for them to actually dig into the pockets and actually spend money on free agents.
Yeah, man.
St. Louis hasn't done shit.
Yeah, they haven't.
Good to hear.
Same thing with Anaheim.
Anaheim, I think they want to be bad.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, they want to be bad with the Sharks, but at least the Sharks got Celebrini, and they're saying he's going to be like Taves, man.
Oh my gosh!
It's cool, man. The Sharks they're going to be bad for a couple seasons, but I've always enjoyed watching the Sharks, like those playoff battles every year. They were a good playoff team with Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski, all those years, Nabokov and net. They were entertaining. They got it. They'll be in the playoffs, I bet you, in the next 7 years. The way that they're going, they're getting some good guys. I think Mike Greer is the right guy for the job there.
And maybe they're trying to enter the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes because apparently he's like the next phenom to come up in the next few years.
He's the next one, huh? Jeez.
Yeah. Apparently he's cousins with Bedard, but they're
oh jeez.
I don't think it's by blood. I think his cousin is married to like.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
God. Unbelievable, that family.
Well, cool, man. You got anything else?
No, man. I don't know if you know that Four Nations tournament they're gonna have. I think next season. I was just looking at the depth for goaltenders in Canada, and I laugh. I saw another post about it. Like most Canadians are very nervous about the goaltending. Aiden Hill, they think he's kind of he won the cup with Vegas, but it's like, hey. He's not, Jordan Binnington, he's hit or miss. And then you look at USA's goalies, unbelievable, dude. With the goaltending, the USA is just going to take over in hockey soon. With the talent coming out of this country, it's really good to see.
It seems like Aiden Hill was out lights out in the Stanley Cup playoffs when they needed him to be.
Yeah, they went through a lot of goalies to get there, but he was really good. Honestly, man, I think Binnington is the best goalie that's Canadian right now.
Wow.
And I know he had a good bounce back year. He's just a psycho. He's a madman. But it was cool. I read this little article, and you see Russia's goalies and you see the Americans, and wow, it's like I don't even think Canada should be in the tournament with the goaltending. It's so bad compared to the other countries.
The rest of the squad. I mean, they have like a great squad, but their goaltending is much to be desired.
They should just give Connor Hellebuck citizenship for playing in Winnipeg, just so they have a chance.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. That's all that we got for you this one. Be sure to send us a message on Twitter, what you guys think of free agency. We'll be sure to get back to you. And we'll have more podcasts coming this summer. This is the Tomahawk. We're out of here.